Welcome, Gemini Cancer, to your Astro Dice reading for December. Hope you friends are doing great out there. If you friends like this, please like and subscribe. Okay. And for those of you who are new, this is where I take astrology with tarot and make a small horoscope for the month. Ooh, it's almost Christmas. Okay, best message coming out. You have this beautiful Uranus coming out. I see that right off the bat over here, going straight into some Virgo energy. Ooh, going straight into the third house of something you're going to learn about. So something's going to catch your attention this month. Something is in the air. Let's see what is going on with you. With this Uranus, it's definitely something that's going to have some kind of sudden change, enlightenment, and some kind of an awakening. Something that's going to kind of like the knock on the forehead kind of thing. You know, it's kind of like, hello, this is what's going on, right? Capturing your attention, especially when it comes to the third house. Straight with Virgo. The energy around you is dutiful, hesitant, humble, with a discriminating, diligent, and painstaking air. So this is going to be some very grounded energy over here. Something that's going to, it might even feel like it's, how is that? Oh, can feel that kind of energy though. It's something that's kind of like, it feels like it's something that's moving kind of slowly, but it might even keep you a little hesitant to want to jump at first. Oh, okay. Let's see what's going on there. Kind of like, is that really happening? The potential to learn something about your local neighborhood, people around you, whatever it is you're learning. So definitely you're learning something. Something's going, like I said, going to catch your attention over here. Learning about something. Going straight into the situation. The situation is taking place in the beginning of the month, the middle of the month, and the end of the month. I think though, with the hesitation, I think it's going to put you straight into maybe a hangman mode, to where you're just going to kind of like make you fence it for a second and kind of look around saying, you know, I don't really want to move yet, because you can really feel that energy coming out of, you know, just the setup is the way it is. It's kind of like it's such a sudden change. It's so like, what the heck just happened, right? What did I just learn? What just happened? Yeah, see with the star card coming out, it's something that has to do with your dreams, your wishes, something that you've been wishing upon, something that you've been holding on tight. You're all of a sudden, this sudden change within that star, within that dream, within that potential is coming to light over here. Yeah, you're into, see, it's what you want. Something, you know, and it's, wow. Solitude mode. So it does look like you've been in a solitude mode in the beginning of the month. You might be really daydreaming about this, really holding tight, putting a lot of faith into this dream. Really waiting for something to happen, wanting something to happen, putting all your hopes, all your desires, everything that you want into this, and really, you know, keeping yourself in that soul searching kind of area over there. With the solitude is the Hermit card. Hermit is that Virgo energy once again. So keeping yourself very humble, trying to learn about this. You know, when you're learning things, also the Hermit is also learning no matter what, because you're in that place of, like I said, soul search, wanting something, looking for the inner awareness of something, having the enlightenment, the awakening. Wow, right? So on the star and the intention over here, you have the Three of Swords in reverse. So it's kind of like releasing any kind of pain, keeping your optimism going, having some kind of recovery from whatever it was, you know, what was ever going on within the situation. So it's like whatever is going on within that situation, you're saying, I'm going to let go of that. I'm not going to allow that to hurt me anymore. Maybe somebody was talking kind of nasty to you. Somebody hurt your feelings, something of this nature. Right, but in the reverse, I love it because it's, there it is, that passion and that faith. Once again, sitting on the Hope card, this is going to give you the precision that you need, knowing that, you know what, this is what I really am looking for, right? You might have had blinders on or something, there's something going on, but you're going to make sure that your heart has enough room for this interest. I'm not gonna push that away anymore. Maybe you were giving up faith, right? In that area. Okay. Maybe you had some kind of painful separation from someone and now is renewing some kind of hope. Take it how it resonates. Everybody's story is a little different, but that's, you know, that's how that's kind of going over there. Could have even been a love triangle that was going on. Maybe somebody hurt you, giving attention to somebody else who they shouldn't be giving attention to. And now you're, you know, moving away from that, keeping the hope alive for new love, however it is. Yeah, it said you had lack of recognition that was going on. I think that you had learned. I think for some of you learned that they were having a third-party situation, and you really got hurt from that. But I think that either that or there was some kind of a private achievement that you were looking at, that you didn't have all your facts together. You weren't sure how this is going to go. For some of you, you might have learned about some kind of health issue with someone. Or you're going to learn about this if it hasn't happened. Causing a little bit of confusion, but now you're going to get the inner clarity you need by going into solitude mode. So no matter what it is, you're going to see exactly, you know, wherever you had clouded judgment, whatever is going on with the situation, you're now definitely going to be able to renew that faith, renew that trust, see clearly what is going on within the situation, not feel like you have blinders on anymore to a situation, however that situation is playing out for you. It's a general reading. Going straight into the mid-month, but remember this third house of something that you're learning about, right? So you could be just now learning about what is going on. For some of you, it's starting to feel with the Lovers over here that there's a lot of choices that are going on with the Four of Pentacles in reverse. I'm feeling like, you know what, I wanted my Nine of Pentacles, but I don't know if I'm going to see that coming at this time. The grass is not greener in this situation. You're learning that the grass is not green wherever it is, whether it's a work situation, a love situation, something has close off for you when it comes to the firm foundation, that this is not as firm and steady as you thought it was going to be. And you're really learning about this. And I think that with the harmony over here, with the Lovers, it's going to bring in these choices, right? It's going to bring in new choices, new understandings of how things are really working. Are they working for me or against me? And I think in the mid-month, that's where you're really going to, you know, figure out that there is some kind of loss. You might be in a disapproval to the situation. If they're coming back to you and they want this harmony and peace with you, but they had a third-party situation or something going on that felt a little deceitful, a little chaotic, unfair, however it is, not responsible. You're going to feel in the mid-month that, you know what, and there's that hesitation to want to, there it is, that hesitation to want to jump. There's where that hesitation's coming in. The hesitation of saying, well, wait, I don't know. I'm just, you know what, I'm not sure yet if I want to do this. I don't want to place too much importance on this situation at this time. I'm going to just kind of hang around, right? Because you're not sure. There's a lot of disapproval within yourself about the situation, and you don't want to come back to this situation. You've learned kind of what you want to learn. You can see clearly what it is, right, that's going on, and you don't want to depend on I think it's like kind of like a false intuition. So you're saying, wait, hold on, there's a different way I want to execute this. I want to use my sound judgment. I want to. So I think you're going to stay in solitude mode, and for some reason, you know, for some of these reasons. Because the sudden awareness is them all of a sudden just, you know, this all coming out to the blue, you know, and then you kind of having the aha moment, like, Yeah, with the harmony, it's the Ace of Pentacles. They want to give this opportunity like a new, stable, there it is. They want to give this a new, stable area, and they're trying to be very compassionate, but I think you're going to give the compassion back to yourself and nurture yourself and say, whoa, I'm going to build my own Ace of Pentacles. Because this over here, it says the firm foundation with, you know, it's closed off. There's this approval. It's not sturdy. You know, it's not sturdy. It's out of control. So you're saying, I think this is kind of moving out of control over here. I kind of just learned, and I know what's going on in the beginning of the month and the mid-month. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. That's not healthy. That's not a very, the flowers are dead over there. Fruit's not very good. Some sour apples over there. Yeah. So it's almost like you're going to go where you feel like you need to be more successful, whether it's love, money, career, family, whatever it is, where you want to put your own contributions. It's almost like I'm going to lay my own contributions down. I'm going to use my own sound judgment. And, because the things that I'm learning over here just don't match up. You're saying, for some of you, somebody is saying one thing and it's not matching. It's not matching. So you're kind of just in your own self-care. I see a lot of self-care over here. The Queen of Cups loves her own self-care. She's looking deep within that cup over here saying, yeah, I'm going to do what I need to do. Using your own inner resources for the situation, because there's too many overwhelming things going on that you're learning about in this situation that's really kind of even, see, there's that lack of motivation. Like I said, it could have a hangman there, but that's fine. If they don't want to give us a hangman, that's fine. You still have lack of motivation. 9 of Wands. I don't want to really go here. I'm just going to kind of kick back. I feel exhausted. I don't want to put in all of my, I don't want to put in everything that I have into this situation when I surely don't know exactly what is going on within the situation, but I don't like it and I don't think it's fair. So you're looking for your own justification over here. You're looking for what's fair for yourself. You're looking at the truth and the clarity of the situation. Is there equal give and take? Is there enough balance over here? Am I getting, if there's going to be cause and effect, what is the cause and effect? Because what you showed me, the effect is not very good. I don't want that. So you're, going to move to where you need to move. This is not good for you. The things you keep learning in this situation keep making you hesitant to want to go back to that situation or stay in that situation. Universe in reverse. Yeah, love begins, Ace of Cups in reverse, and there it is, emotional withdrawal. And they're saying, yeah, because that's not where your destiny is. And you're saying, yeah, because I want to move where my destiny is. This is what I have planned for myself. That, I'm going to get the Wheel of Fortune, but it's only after the transformation. You have to go through a transformation to get to the destiny. These are 2 cards on the bottom of the deck, right? So it's at the bottom, it looks like this, right? And then after that, if you can see, is because you have to get stabilized within your own areas of vitality, your own root chakra. That's where the stability comes from. You're saying over here with the firm foundations in reverse, I don't have any real stability within this situation. So you're going to stabilize yourself. And before that is where the fertility comes. You see how I'm saying these are things you don't know. But if we went this way, see, that's where it's going. It'll take us forever to get there. But so if you look at it this way, it's saying then I have this transformation, then I have my Wheel of Fortune. So why would I want to do that? So I'm going to emotionally withdraw from this situation. I'm actually going to walk away from this situation because it's not serving me. This is not giving me what I want. This has too much emotional baggage. This is not what it's kind of like this is not what I set out to do. This was not the plan. This is not what I set seeds for, right? So yeah, there was a lot of disharmony. I do feel like they don't really want the closure, right? You want the perfect closure with the world, but they're saying, no, I'm not going to give you the closure that you want though, because I'm saying there's strings attached to the situation. So they're going to try to hold on, and you're going to learn in the 3rd house that they're not going to actually let go of the situation the way you thought, or however you thought was going to happen here is not going to happen the way you want it to. Okay, because they have their own personal values, and they kind of have their own disillusionment to the situation. They're overwhelmed by their own personal values, their own purpose, however it is, but they feel like you're a part of this. And so the only way you're saying you're draining the hell out of me, whether you're draining the hell out of my wallet, you're draining me, however, right? So but good Lord's going to give you a Tower. ooh, you know, and it's kind of funny because you just seen that Wheel of Fortune. So it's almost like your destiny came into play because this is the good Lord giving you a tower. 1 + 6 is 7. If this was your own personal tower, it would be in reverse, right? Because this is say, this is my own personal setbacks. I don't want to be here anymore. You know, 1 - 6 = 5. That's the change that I'm going to give you. Good Lord says, I'm not even going to give you the chance. I'm going to do it yourself. I'm going to knock the crap out of this. Because you know why? Here's that sudden change. Here's that Uranus coming in. Why? Because it says this is where, this is just awaiting a disaster. So if I give it this great awakening and release this situation for you, right? And having this sudden insight, which you already kind of had over here with the solitude, which kind of already started this whole process, right? This will give you the firm foundations, which we just talked about, to transform into what it is you truly need, right? So, absolutely. So without this, you'd be just stuck sitting there going, why won't you leave me alone? Why won't you do this? Why won't you do that, right? Towers, sometimes they're horrifying, and then sometimes they're just like, but a lot of times, no matter how horrifying they are, they're so needed. Otherwise, we get stuck in there and we'll never have any growth, right? You'll always have that upheaval. So, yeah, it's going to cause this major conflicting thing. Yeah, see, so you can get to your 7 of Pentacles. You'll be able to replant where it is you need to plant. And you can say, now I'm going to replant new grass seeds. And now I'm going to have blue, beautiful grass where my grass was dead. So this is where you're going to end up with sustainable results. So it's like, okay, now you can have your investments. Now you put in all the hard work. Now you're going to see new views from a new perspective because of the sudden awakening of all the chaos and all the shit that was going on and all the stuff that was going on around you, right? Which was doing nothing, not helping your dreams, not helping anything. So you're going to go through with, an emotional withdrawal. But I don't see that the 8 of Cups is really going to be that big of a deal, though. See, because I always say with the 8 of Cups, the only reason we have 8 of Cups is because I took my Ace of Cups, was the only cup that was worth a shit within all the other 8 of Cups. And I walked away from all those 8 broken cups. They can't hold water. Right? They're all doomed. So you took that one cup and you're walking away, but that's just so that you can go get peace of mind. So you can go look at where you're going to fill that one cup left, right? Which then later, your 8 of Cups can become the 9 of Cups, which is your wish come true, right? Absolutely. Because otherwise, there's just overindulgence. There was, a lot of, things going on. But right now is your alone time, your isolation with your emotional withdrawal. You're saying, nah, I don't really feel like I'm in a party mode right now. I just want some alone time. I need this isolation because I need to do things. Now, it says 3 is a crowd and 3 is like I said, some of you had a third party situation going on. There it is again. And there it is again. 8 of Cups. Now, it does feel like the person that you're with going to go out and overindulge. You're going to go, if you're with this other person that you're trying to get away from, they want to party. They want to do these things. They, but they're afraid of that change. So even though they had the Tower, they're still fearing that change. They're fearing that loss. They have the 8 of Cups in reverse because they already seen that you took your cup, you walked away, right? So they see you as 8 of Cups. I was disappointed. I walked away. I'm done. I'm leaving behind everything that doesn't serve me. And they're saying, oh my God, don't walk away. I'm holding on to you. I can't let you go. Why are you making me aimlessly drift all over the place? I don't know what to do. I'm going to go drink. I'm going to go party. I'm going to go drink. Because you know what? It's almost New Year's anyway, so who gives a shit? I want to drink. I want to party. That's for somebody. For others of you, they might just go and, become a little bit of hermited and time alone themselves. Or they may go hang out with their, with their Pisces or whoever that they're dealing with, their third party, because that's a third party card. So they say, okay, fine, you hang out over there. I'm going to go hang out with Michelle, who's my third party, or Jacob or whoever. Take it how it resonates. Whether they're cheating or it's just allowing other people into the relationship who should not be there. Other things, maybe it's just drinking and alcohol itself. Who knows, right? Everybody's story is different. But they're only making themselves suffer. you know, from their own bad choices. You're not going to feel like you're suffering because you've already had all of the awakening. You've already had all the sudden things. So if anything, they're just going to continue to go out and make these bad choices. The shitty thing about the situation is that because we're in a Mercury retrograde on the 11th, 12th, or 13th, or whenever the heck it comes in, right? I did my homework, but now I can't really remember right now, but it's okay. Close enough, right? And for some reason, I want to say the 11th. I keep looking at the Justice card. I don't know why. I want to say the 11th. But okay. They want to come tell you about what they did. They want to let you know. Because they want you to feel like you're missing out on something. Okay. There could even be that they're trying to cause jealousy. They could be trying to cause jealousy, make you feel like no matter what, like make you jealous or make you feel like you missed out. Okay. But to you, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. They're trying to slow you down, try to keep you not to move, trying to you don't know what you're missing. And you're like, I know what I'm missing. The grass is not green here. There's nothing for me to do here. Right? Yeah, that's all they're doing is just conflict. It's just conflict. It's just conflict. And like I said, a lot of it could just be, yeah, trying to put you in a challenge mode, trying to kind of make you fight your way back, oh my gosh, or make you jealous. Or I don't know why I wanted to say that, because for some reason I feel like they want you jealous. They want you to fight back for them. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. I don't know. That's so high school. But yeah, for me, I would hate that because I had a jealous boyfriend. The only other boyfriend I ever had in my life was a Virgo who was jealous, and I couldn't stand his jealousy. It was horrible. So actually, to me, it's a total turnoff. But that's what they're doing. And for a lot of you, it's going to be the same thing. You'll be like, oh my God, take your jealousy and go away. You know what I mean? That's not even a turn on. But some people, they do think that's a turn on. They think that, that's the way to do things. That's how they win. And a lot of people do think that's how they win their partner back. So look at how it resonates, Okay, guys. And that was it. Until next time. Peace and love. Bye-bye.